this is a way of looking at how throws can be involved with your regular training, punching, blocking, so on. So we're looking at the Pyung forms. We're looking at the 5 Pyung forms. Now, there are more than 5 throws in these Pyung forms, but we're just going to look at a throw from each form, and the Pyung Chonan form is the easiest, the Pyung Odan form is the most difficult. So in class, we have 4 basic punches. We have jab, cross, hook, uppercut, and we teach this at a very early belt. The idea is now we do a little game where Richard can say 1, 2, 3, or 4. So we're moving round, he calls out a number.
1, 2, 4.
Okay, excellent. Now, that's sort of level 1. Then level 2 or 3 is dealing with a punch coming back. So he still calls out that number. So for example, like number 1. Then with his other hand, he comes in with a shot and I cover up. And all this does is teach his students to cover. So this is going to be a response for all the punches. Okay. The next part is that what do you do after you cover? Well, you could return with a kick, you could return with a punch, but we're going to return with a throw, and this one from Pyung Chonan, or maybe more of a lock you'd call it, okay? So do the punch, he calls out the number.
1.
A block, pass, catch the arm, pull in and drag. Now if he goes to the floor, that's fantastic, but the form also shows you how to lock it up and put there. Either is good. So we're just going to show you 2 or 3 examples of that in sort of speed, okay?
2. 3.
So that's Pyung Chonan, and that is a great one where you block and pass. Now on Pyongyang we're going to block and catch, and this is the bit in the form where you go knife hand block into your spear hand. Okay, so as he calls that number, punch, as he comes in with a punch now, what happens is instead of passing it like Pyung Chonan, I catch it and pull him in here. Now you can either strike with the neck, or if he remembers to hold at the pad, you can have a go at striking the pad. From here then, I'm going to step past him and do my Kwang Su. Take it to the floor, and while he's on the floor, he's going to hold up the pad, and I'm going to strike it. So this is the bit in the middle of the Pyongyang form. Just show this a couple of examples.
4. 3.
Pyung Samnan now has a difficult hip throw. If I can explain to make it easier to throw your partner, as I punch, Rich is always going to step throw the chuck, and that'll give me the leg that I throw. I'm then going to wrap around his body with my other hand, pivot here, and my belt needs to come below Rich's belt, and I tip him over to the floor. Now the good thing about this is I've got this arm caught so he can't go anywhere, and I can throw my strike in. Okay, so again, if you're not used to doing this throw, don't add it with the punches first. Just show you a couple of examples of that. 2.
3.
3. Here we go. Okay, Pyung Sadan now. It's the end of the form where you block, clinch, knee, and take down. Okay, so this one requires more balance because it's a narrower stance. Okay, so we just show an example of the jab. 1, he steps forward with the punch. I then clinch in and he brings the pad down to protect himself. Knee, take that leg forward, twist this arm now to the waist because again, if he wasn't there, I'd be putting my hands on my waist and simply turn it down. And you can hit this pad, or if you've captured this hand, you can hit that pad. So a couple of examples now of the Pyung Saran one. 3.
4.
Fantastic. Last one now, Pyongyang, the hardest throw. And again, if you haven't done this throw before, please practice it before the punching drill. I'm going to go very slowly on this one. So Richard punches, he steps forward with the punch, and I block. Now in the form we're doing the block, uppercut, and X block. So from here, grab hold of this hand, step forward with this uppercut. I'm trying to make my shoulder come under Richard's shoulder. From here then, I tip my hips low and tip him up onto me. And then bring him to the floor, wrap this arm around and step in front of him and sit. And then lock onto my hand and this arm and just twist until he taps. And again, if you need to practice that slowly, that's correct. When I do a little bit faster, you're going to see the throw maybe go wrong. And this is why Kano, the inventor of judo, said throwing is the hardest style. We should stick to punches and kicks first. And this is why Odan is the highest form of all your Pyung forms. Ready? A couple of examples of that a little bit faster. 1, 1. Go. 3. So you can do that drill a number of times for each one. That's what I recommend. But a really good drill now is my partner calls out those 4 punches, and I can do any one of the throws from any one of the forms. I'm going to go in order, so I'm going to go Chodan, Idan, Sandan, Sardan, Odan. Obviously go at the right speed for your partner, always look after your partner. Okay, let's go. 3. 3. 2. 1. 3. 'So there we go. All 5 throws from your 5 Pyung forms. Have fun.